from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Thank you. I'll call to order the regular meeting of Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, the morning session, 9 a.m. session, and of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. The first item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scribner, Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez. Here.
So I'll make the announcement now. Supervisor Peters is not here today. He's attending to some business up in the near the Burrell fire, and the governor is visiting today, so we wanted to have Supervisor Peters wanted to be in attendance. The next item is the flag salute. It will be led this morning by Supervisor Jeff Flores, and please remain standing at the conclusion of that for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation, whichever you prefer. Thank you.
Please stand. Ready, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item is everybody's favorite item, and that is the pet of the week. So I'll invite Nick Cullen out. He's got a cute one today. She's all ears. What do you have to say, Nick?
I have a cute one today.
Well, they're all
Not
cute.
usually.
They're all cute.
Good morning, Chairman Couch and members of the board. I brought with me Annabelle. Annabelle is about an 8-month-old Dachshund mix. She came to us just a couple days ago by Good Samaritan. She's a lot of energy. She's super, super friendly, very sweet girl. She's available for adoption tomorrow morning at 2 p.m. from the Kern County Animal Shelter.
How big is she going to get?
Probably not much bigger than this. She's about 12 pounds right now. She's not going to get much bigger than that. She's a small breed dog, so
She's got her eye on Jeff Hill, I think.
That'd be a good target.
No shit,
Actually.
Sick him, Annabelle. All right. Thank you, Nick. Let's find Annabelle a forever home. Thank you. All right, thank you. Next item is the consent agenda. All items which are the CA or C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. I'm going to tell you what those are. Starts on page 2, items 1 and 2, and then 6 through 8. Continues to page 3, all the items 11 through 17. Page 4, items 18 through 20, and then 22 through 24. Page 5, all the items 25 through 31. Page 6, items 32 and 33. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on or ask a question about any of those items? Please come forward now. Hi, Sandra.
Good morning. I'm going to comment on number 25.
Okay.
Yes. And my name is Sandra Melgoza Plasencia, and I'm a Kern Policy Advocate with Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability. As the county works on updating their multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, we remind the county about its responsibility to comply with Government Code 65302H, which requires jurisdictions to address climate adaptation and resiliency strategies upon the revision or update of a local hazard mitigation plan in the safety element of the general plan. The county must include a set of goals, policies, and objectives based on a vulnerability assessment identifying the risk that climate change poses to the local jurisdictions and the geographic areas at risk from climate change impacts pursuant to Government Code 65302. The county is currently out of compliance with Government Code 65302H as the county moves forward to accept federal and state funding to update their multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. You must comply with SB 379. We are already seeing the impacts from climate change, which includes the devastating fires in the Kern River Valley. The county must comply with SB 379 and identify and meet their climate-related needs in the years to come. Not all communities in the county have the infrastructure needs to adequately adapt to the rising effects of climate change. For example, the community of Fuller Acres fails to have a medical facility located near them. If they were to encounter a major natural disaster, they would not have access to medical facilities, emergency shelters, or even an area to serve as a command center, as designated by 65302 G2B4. Similarly, other communities throughout the county are missing dire infrastructure needs, such as proper curb and gutter and drainage. We ask the Board of Supervisors that you direct staff to work and comply with Government Code 65302H, provide next steps on how it intends to comply, and also provide a status update on the general plan at the next Board of Supervisors meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Can we refer that to our planning department? Okay. Any other comments this morning on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I return it to the board for a motion.
Motion on consent.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent. Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scrivener.
Okay, that takes us back to kind of the top of the agenda under the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting, which is on the top of page 2. Oh, sorry. We have a non-agenda item, and we need to take action to put it on the agenda, correct? So we need a motion to consider non-agenda item 25A. We need to make a finding that the need to take action on a non-agenda matter occurred after the agenda was posted because at approximately 1:30 p.m. on July 24th, 2024, the Burrell Fire started due to a fatal auto accident in the unincorporated area of Kern County along Highway 178 in the Kern Canyon. Since the posting of the agenda for the July 30th, 2024 Board of Supervisors meeting, the fire has spread to approximately 53,010 acres with 0% containment reported, necessitating a large area in the Kern River Valley to come under jurisdiction orders and warnings. Highway 178 between the San Joaquin Valley and the Kern River Valley is closed. There have been a significant loss of residential structures in the community of Havilah. Road damage due to the fire is anticipated. Approximately 2,365 Kern County residents are under an evacuation order, and 3,479 residents are under an evacuation warning. So I'm asking for a motion, and we'll take a vote to introduce the item.
Motion to put the item on the agenda.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent. Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scrivener.
Okay, and we want to hear this item out of order, correct? We would like to hear it now? Okay. So we're going to go a little bit out of order. So we're going to hear item 25A, which we just added to the agenda, is a proposed resolution declaring a local emergency and adopting proclamation that a fire disaster and state of emergency exists in the county of Kern due to the effects of the Burrell Fire. Good morning. Deputy Chief Mitchell, how are you?
Very good, sir.
Thank you. Is there anything you need to report to us about this?
Absolutely. I have something I'd like to say if I could.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and fellow members of the board. As we've heard, on approximately 1:30 p.m. on July 24th, we had the Burrell Fire start to a fatal car accident. By July 25th, the night, we saw extreme fire conditions. The fire traveled 5 miles at nighttime, which is unprecedented in terms of fire behavior, which encroached onto the area of Paiute Meadows and the Walker Basin area, and then encroaching onto Havilah. It was then decided to bump warnings to orders to get people out to make sure they had plenty of time, as we knew we had a severe fire. By July 26th, early afternoon, in terms of 1600, 4 p.m., given the red flag warnings, high winds in the air, triple-digit weather, along with rugged terrain, the fire took a run into the Havilah community. And at that point, that's where we had significant impaction upon the Havilah community. We had our Kern County Fire Department firefighters, along with the Kern County Sheriff's Office deputies, performing door-to-door evacuations, fire suppression efforts, point protection, in a highly dangerous and dynamic area. Thank you to the Kern Regional Transit, who provided evacuation assistance. That was imperative in terms of the amount of people we needed to move quickly. That was appreciated. And then concurrently, on the 26th night of, we had the sawmill fire, which also started that impacted an area of 165 acres and structures we had threatened while the Burrell was still going on. Then moving into July the 27th, with that movement that we had on July the 26th that impacted Havilah, which went 6 miles in that burn period. So you have a 5 mile and a 6 mile threat run. We had to triple in size from 12,000 acres to 33,000 acres, which is paramount. You don't see that kind of stuff. So on July the 27th, we moved to elevate the EOC from a level 2 or level 3 to a level 2, and started incorporating all county agencies and department heads. From there, we saw that significant damage was going to be in the area of Havilah. We needed to then couple the efforts of getting relief aid and also assessment teams in there. And because of that, I wanted to highlight a lot of the efforts that a lot of your county departments are doing, because we've had a tremendous amount of support from all of them. Kern County Sheriff's Office were instrumental in terms of evacuations. Without our working relationship that we have here in the county, we cannot achieve what we do with the deputies that they have going and endangering their lives. Going door-to-door evacuations, and then also assisting with family reunification with a telephone number of 661-861-3110. Human Services with Red Cross and shelters, that has also been instrumental. We had the Tehachapi Education Center opened that currently has 19 residents there, 5 dogs, 3 cats. The Lake Isabella Senior Center was opened, but did have to close and reshift efforts because Lake Isabella and Bodfish became under Bodfish under order, Lake Isabella under warning, and so we had to relocate our shelter. That had to be moved to Burroughs High School, which was very thankful to the city of Ridgecrest. And we do have 19 dogs, 14 cats, and 18 residents. So you can see the amount of people, not only people, but we are, with the help of Animal Services and Human Services and Red Cross, we're assisting animals and humans there. Animal Services is always helping us out with care and supply for animals and shelter. They have their number set up at 661-868-7100. They have arranged for locations for large animal sheltering, which we know these large animals are impacted in these areas, especially in the urban interface in the mountains. And because of that, we've identified areas of Ridgecrest Fairgrounds, Kern County Fairgrounds, and also the rodeo, Kernville Rodeo Grounds. We appreciate their assistance as they do go and check on animals, especially for those people that have been displaced, to make sure that they're cared for during these efforts. Behavioral health, they've been very supportive in terms of displaced residents and those that are going through crises at the moment. Aging and adult services, managed intake of constituent calls regarding transportations and assistance for those. Public Works with their regional transit system, like I said, that was instrumental. We had multiple people who needed to be moved from that danger area quickly, and they provided that transport, which was sincerely appreciated. Public Health, they actually activated their DOC on July the 27th, and they took such plans as contingency plans for the emergency plan of the evacuation of the hospital in Lake Isabella if we needed, or Mount Mesa if we needed to. They support hospital operations with generator equipment use, air scrubbers to mitigate poor air quality, because we know the valley is inundated with smoke right now. And then intervention to assist evacuated constituents with complex medical needs. County IT, they showed up on a Sunday after hours with the activation of our center to get a phone and call center assistance in place. That was huge for information given to our constituents. Human Resources, they were the ones who stepped up and helped staff that call center. That was a huge effort on their part. I would say within a mere couple hours, we already had people fielding phone calls due to their efforts, which our call center is open from 9 to 7 p.m. daily now at 661-873-2660. The Treasurer Tax Collector Office coordinated with the United Way to act as a fiscal agent for monetary donations to the Burrell Fire survivors, and that's set up at www.uwcec.org. General Services, of course, with the communications we have in this county, we have tower sites in places all amongst our mountain ranges and areas. Breckenridge was one of those areas that needed to be protected. It's paramount in our communications. General Services was great in terms of keeping that Breckenridge supplier going. It was off reserves, off gas and stuff like that, so it ran out of its normal electrical power, so it was nice to protect that with their services. KCFD, Kern County Fire, we have 16 engines, 2 helicopters, one of which was doing night helicopter operations to protect Bodfish and Lake Isabella, 4 hand crews, 15 chief officers, 12 overhead positions for a total of 200 fire personnel of our department engaged on this incident. That's over a shift of our entire people there right now, staffing that fire. And then special recognitions to the city of Ridgecrest and the Sierra Sands High School District. When Lake Isabella was displaced and we needed an evac center, the one that we usually use in Ridgecrest was already taken, they stepped up in a huge way to give us a location so we could take those from Lake Isabella and home them in Ridgecrest. They have been just open arms for everything, anything you need, and they just are sincerely appreciated to the mayor, the police chief, and the Sierra Sands superintendent, and the principal. I've worked with Ridgecrest before, and the Ridgecrest Earthquakes, they're a great city. They definitely help us out in our time of need. And then the call center, two key things with off-duty IT and then also human resources stepping up on that. We know how information is key for our people, especially when they're in crises. And to have that done on a Sunday and for those people off duty to come back and get that done in a mere 3 to 4 hours, that's superb. That's your county working for our constituents when they're called upon. In closing, I just want to update on the acreage. It's actually up to 57,306 acres with 5% or 17% contaminant, I'm sorry. But that does now make it the largest fire in Kern County's history, surpassing the 1942 fire of 52,000 and also the Erskine fire of 2016. So we know the damages that we're looking at when you talk about looking at the largest fire in Kern County's history. But it will remain our duty to continue supporting the Burrell incident right now. We have fire suppression efforts going, surveying, assessment, getting in there and seeing what's going on in Havilah. But most importantly right now, we need to make sure that while we have fire suppression efforts going on, we are definitely helping to support the families and the members of the Havilah and Greater Paiute Meadows area. We know they're at a loss right now, so we are looking at the transition of moving into local assessment centers and having those facilities available. We applied and received an FMAG, a Fire Management Assistance Grant, that does assist with recovering costs, but now therefore that is why we're asking for the local proc. We need to assist those here locally and do our due diligence in hoping to secure potential funding for constituents for debris removal, losses to critical infrastructure, structural loss, and equipment needs. So therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that a local emergency exists throughout the county. That is why we're asking that you approve this proposed resolution and adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you for that report, and thanks to your department, by the way, because it's not my district, but I have heard that the response by your department is incredible. People are just kind of awestruck by how good you guys are at this. And so I'd like you to pass along the board's thanks on just the work that they do that is incredible, that we take for granted oftentimes. So I appreciate the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You bet. So we have the recommended action. All we need is a motion and a second.
Okay, motion on emergency proclamation.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scribner.
And the motion was to approve, adopt resolution, and authorize the chair to sign the proclamation. Okay, thank you. Okay, that takes care of 25A. Now we're going to go back to the top of page 2. Items 3 and 4 will be presented by Supervisor Flores, and item 3 proclaims August 2024 as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County. Item 4 proclaims July 11th, 2024 as the 113th anniversary of the Kern County Library System.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion on items 3 and 4.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
Thank you. And at this time, would Scott Thigerson, CEO of Kern Medical, please join me at the front, and Rob Purdy with the Valley Fever Institute, and our Public Health Director, Bryn Kerrigan.
Thank you. The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scribner.
Morning, Supervisors, members of the public. Today, it gives me great pleasure to recognize this month as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County. As you know, this is a terrible disease that's endemic to Kern County, as well as the larger Southwest, and it has taken a tough economic toll, physical toll, family toll in the billions. We looked at lost productivity, medical costs, what have you, but we are the epicenter for fighting this disease, for raising awareness, education, the Valley Fever Research Institute. The work that they do with our congressional delegation, our state delegation, with researchers across the U.S. to bring cutting-edge treatments, vaccines, what have you. And they don't just talk the talk, they literally walk the walk. They have a great event every year at Cal State where they take laps in memory of those that we've lost, in memory of those that have conquered this disease, and the valuable work that they're doing. And so I'll let Scott Thigerson talk about the campaign, but let me just present this proclamation to you, Scott, in honor of Valley Fever Awareness Month, and recognize that's been entered in the official board minutes and signed by our chairman, Supervisor Dave Couch, dated this day, July 30th. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your ads on television about the tremendous work that you're doing at Kern Medical.
Thank you.
From red to black, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Flores. It's a privilege to stand before your board today. In recognizing and proclaiming August the Valley Fever Awareness Month. It is such an insidious disease, as Supervisor Flores said. It was not long ago when we had a family friend pass away from Valley Fever Institute. And to see the progression of that disease, that she was like a cancer patient at the end of her life. It's something that we're all exposed to. As was stated, it's a terrible disease. When you think of 38 million people in California, and our 910,000 people in Kern County, yet we have a third of all of the state's Valley Fever cases right here in this community. Something that one can get from digging in the dirt, a wind or breeze comes along and you can get it, and whatever those effects are that may be wrought upon you can be from something you don't know to, as I said, the other extreme of people will pass away from this. We have with us both Rob Purdy from the Valley Fever Institute and Bryn Kerrigan. We appreciate the partnership with the County of Kern and especially with the Department of Public Health in sharing information about this. Awareness is vital. And if your illness is not resolving and what you need to do, and they'll be sharing some information about that, but it does take everybody to care for this community. Kern Medical is one of many healthcare providers in this community. We have a special role of being both the teaching hospital, being the trauma center, being the specialty care center for many diseases and specialties, and caring for the most vulnerable. We operate very large patient care clinics in addition to a hospital to make sure we're caring for everyone in this community. With that, I'd like to turn the time back over to Rob and to Bryn to share a little bit more information about Valley Fever.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Bryn Kerrigan, your director for Kern County Public Health. Thank you so much for proclaiming August as Valley Fever Awareness Month here in Kern County, and thank you to Kern Medical and the Valley Fever Institute for inviting me to be a part of such an important effort. Valley fever awareness is not only important to me professionally, but as you now know, it is of very personal importance to me as well. Valley fever is on the rise here in Kern County, with a particularly high number of cases being reported in 2023 and so far in 2024. Valley fever is mostly found in the Central Coast and San Joaquin areas of California, with Kern County leading the state with the highest number of cases. In 2023, Kern County had 3,153 cases of valley fever reported. This is 3,153 Kern County residents impacted by valley fever, a disease that does not have a cure, in a single year. 3,153 cases is nearly 24% increase from the 2,552 cases in 2022, and is the second highest number of cases reported in a single year on record, second only to 2019. Preliminary data for 2024 suggests an 81% increase in suspected, probable, and confirmed cases of valley fever from 2023 in Kern County. While Kern County is disproportionately impacted by valley fever incidents, we also have some of the best resources here available to help educate our community and healthcare providers, as well as provide patient care and perform research locally through the Valley Fever Institute and other local infectious disease doctors. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Rob.
As a fellow valley fever patient, I can say that it's very important the proclamation that you've provided us and the proclamations you've continued to provide us. Every valley fever case, every number represents a person. And the effects of that case are not just borne by that person. They're borne by family and friends, children, parents. And it is truly a difficult disease. The Valley Fever Institute is unique in that we engage in awareness activities to educate the public, our patients, as well as healthcare providers in our community and in the region. The voice of patients is evident throughout the efforts of the Valley Fever Institute. And along that lines, I'd like to encourage everyone to advocate for their own health. So because the symptoms of valley fever are similar to other more common respiratory diseases, we encourage people who've had a respiratory infection or a flu-like or COVID-like illness lasting 10 days to request a valley fever test. And we also encourage people to continue to request those tests if the first test is negative and they continue to have symptoms. So patient advocacy is a key to engaging and being a partner in your own care. So that is always our recommendation, and it is especially important in years like 2023 and 2024. So we thank you for your proclamation and your efforts to encourage awareness. We also want to share one other thing. You hopefully will be seeing these signs around the county this month. Board members, we have one for each of you. This is to share awareness about Valley Fever Month and Valley Fever. And if you would like a sign of your own, we can provide them for you by going to kernmedicalfoundation.com and requesting one. They're available for $20. We're just recovering our costs for the sign. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today and being willing to share your experience.
Two. Also have AM4, which is the 113th celebration of the Kern County Library System. And at this time, I'd like to ask our library director, Andy Sullivan, to come up and join me. Carla English and David Hess with Friends of the Library, who do a tremendous job of supporting our libraries through volunteerism, through fundraising, and through hard work. And also like to thank Linda Fiddler for championing our libraries and helping with this proclamation. Quick history, some tidbits. The history of the Kern County Library System began well before 1911. The first steps began in Havilah in 1866 by private citizens who established the Library Association and raised money to open the first library in 1872. Other communities began to establish book collections, such as the Women Club of Bakersfield, that their members could check out. The Library Association opened a reading room and a library in the city of Kern in Old Town Kern. And in 1998, it was turned over to the city of Kern and became the first publicly supported library in Kern County. Excuse me. You know, I had the good fortune of touring an old library at Trinity College, and it was just overwhelming to see the collection, the Book of Kells, Jonathan Swift, James Joyce, these treasures of literature and humanity. And libraries have been serving mankind for over 5 millennia, and we're part of that rich history of libraries. We talk about technology, and sometimes we go through these debates of, are libraries still relevant? Libraries are more relevant than ever. I want to also thank the city of Bakersfield, my colleague Supervisor Perez, the work that's being done at Baker, the work that's being done in my branches at Wilson and Rathbun. There is great investment. We are pulling down state monies, grants, all of us working together to improve our services, our hours of operation, assist our staff, and ultimately assist our community in advancing educational attainment, which is the greatest determinant of future success. So at this time, I'd like to present the proclamation to Andy Sullivan, which is declaring June 11th, 2024, as the 113th anniversary of the Kern County Library System, signed by our chairman, David Couch, dated today, July 30th. Congratulations.
Thank you. Pleasure. Good morning.
Morning.
I am so thankful for you, for your board, recognizing the effort of not only the Friends of the Library that stand behind me, but the library supporters and library workers that have contributed to this rich history that we have with libraries in this county. And I want you guys to try to visit, if you can, the local history room at the Beale Memorial Library. We are the archive of the county, and we have stuff from the 1800s and from early Kern County history. So I just invite you guys to visit it, check out the archives. We have a vault with a lot of secret stuff. I won't say here. You have to go to find out. And I will turn it over to Carla English, who is from the Friends of the Library. Miss Carla?
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I feel like you did our job for us by supporting us. My name is Carla English. I am just one of the hardworking volunteers that work behind the scenes at the library. If you haven't visited in a while, I'll just say it's not your grandma's library anymore. My mother was a librarian, and they are for silence. So for community members who have not been there, the library is like the old village green. It's the meeting place. It's got so many activities going on. You can come there. There are special needs people eating lunch. There are children and families that are checking out books, that are participating in arts and crafts. There's dance, there's music. There is so much going on. What we do as Friends of the Library, which, by the way, is a worldwide organization. You can travel many places in the world or in the United States, walk into a library you don't know, ask if there's a Friends of the Library section, and there'll be books for you to check out or to buy. So we've been around a long time. At our branch, we take donations that are private. We take donations from the library that are gently used books. We clean them, we sell them. Our small group probably deals with somewhere close to 200,000 books in a year. Those books in turn go to sales for the public many times of the year, including children's sales. That money in turn goes back to the library to fund all the county's summer reading programs. So it's a wonderful place to visit. I love the job that we do, and I thank you for recognizing it, and I thank you for funding it. When you fund it, then our money, originally the Friends of the Library was to help buy books for libraries. We don't have to do that now. We can return that to the community for the adults and the children, and it's a great place to shop for books. So thank you so much for recognizing us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I say something, Supervisor Couch? Chairman, may I say something?
Sure. Let's wait till they finish their.
Linda, you need to get in that picture. You're Miss Library. Unacceptable.
Thank you all for coming today.
Chairman, may I?
Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. To Linda and all the righteous, Miss English, you're a perfect person to be at the library and to care about it. Your name, it was meant to be, Fid, as you know, but Linda has been a long-standing supporter of the library as long as I have known her, and this army of people around you that really care about literacy, that continue to promote the need to do more. Really, you guys are amazing, and I just really appreciate everything that you do. You've consistent. I think that's one of the rarest qualities in human beings, and you have absolutely that. So, Fid, I tip my hat to you, and I keep going because this is exciting stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. So item 5, I get to present. It doesn't require a vote. It is a certificate of recognition honoring Caleb Guzman for his accomplishments in Taekwondo competitions at the state and national level. So I'm going to come down to the microphone there and ask Caleb and Jonathan if you want to come with him, or whoever wants to meet me down there. So I attended the, what was it? It was the Buttonwillow Lions Club luncheon, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And hang on, I got some notes about you here, Caleb. Here we go. And I'm in line, and everybody else there was between the ages of about 35 and 65, but I'm standing next to the youngest member in the crowd. Little did I know I was standing next to a state champion and a national champion. So we thought it would be a good idea to give him a little publicity because he's going to other competitions. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Behind me is Caleb. His father is Jonathan, and his mother? Melissa. You told me that back there, but I forgot it. Okay. Last year, he was the #1 ranked red belt in the country, and this year he aims to be the #1 ranked black belt in the, is it 7U is 7 and under? Is that what that means? 8 and under. Okay, 8 and under Dragon Division. He's competed in 4 national tournaments and earned a gold medal at every one of them. Okay? As well as a gold medal in his first and second international tournaments that he attended. He has also won gold 3 times in state tournaments. Apparently, he doesn't know the meaning of, he doesn't know what silver or bronze or any of that is. He just knows what gold is. And recently in July, he won another gold medal. And he may be seeking a little bit of help. He's going to be attending the national tournament in Oklahoma. Is that next month or is that next week? September, okay. And so he's going to be holding fundraisers to support his travel and accommodation expenses and that sort of thing. And any donations or participation in the fundraisers would be obviously greatly appreciated. So I want to present this to you, Caleb. By the way, Maria, you've got another one for me? Okay. I'll just read this. This is presented to Caleb Guzman, a 7-year-old black belt. Are you still 7? Yeah. Okay. In honor and recognition, well, it's been a month. He could have turned 8. In honor and recognition of your accomplishments in Taekwondo competitions at the state and national level. And so I just wanted to present this to you and tell you how proud we are of you. I didn't even know of you or all your accomplishments, but that day I learned all about them. We wanted to bring you to the attention of everybody in Kern County and tell you how proud we are of you. All right. Congratulations. So we have that one, and we have this one for you also. Do you want to make a long speech?
Fancy. Show us a move. Show us a move.
Go ahead. Say whatever you want.
Use a move on Supervisor Couch.
So my name is Caleb Guzman. I am 7 years old, and I am from Buttonwillow. I have been training at Hans Taekwondo for about 3 years. I have gone to many tournaments, and I won gold at 4 national tournaments. I also make sure I have all A's in school. I love what I do. I plan to keep going. I want to thank my family, masters, coaches, and the friends for all the love and support. Thank you.
Nice.
a big tip of the hat to your parents, Caleb, who have made all this possible. So thank you.
There you go.
Well, here's the hardware. He's got his national tournaments.
Put that on his neck.
Here,
You won't be able to walk out of here.
Put them all on there, we'll get a picture.
So this is from last year. He competed in Fort Worth, Texas at a Grand Prix national tournament. Gold. This is last year as well at the national tournament in Florida. Gold. Same thing, gold in Florida for a different organization. Gold. Here is this is the most recent one right here. Fort Worth, Texas, gold, 4th of July. Here is his international tournament, U.S. Open in Reno, Nevada, gold. And then these are all regional and state championship medals. They're all gold as well.
Wow. What a good dad.
There you go, buddy.
Hold that for another half hour.
And then in December, this last year, he earned his black belt, and then here a couple months back, he earned his first degree. So he's got his, so he's now actually, was it July? As of like July, going into the tournament in July, he was ranked #1 in the country for his age, weight, and division as the youngest black belt.
Fantastic. Well done, Chair.
Thank you, guys. So Caleb said he wasn't going to say anything, but he did a really good job. Nice job, Caleb. Okay, that takes us to item 9, which is public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for for persons to address the board on matters that are not on the agenda but are under the jurisdiction of the board. Mr. Shin, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
By the way,
board
if anybody
members.
wants to leave and you don't want to stick around for the rest of the meeting, it's perfectly fine.
My name is Charles Shin. I am a retired Marine, and I'm also a concerned citizen. Good morning, board members, Mr. Chairman. Concerned citizens have presented reports over the past 2 years on issues and questions for Kern County elections regarding integrity, accuracy, transparency, security, continuous control of data, ballot processing, timely reporting, and technology. We have relied upon information from official elections reporting from county and state, personal observations, nationally public reported information to bring about transparent, reliable trust in our county elections. Evidence has been consistently provided to the board highlighting a great need for oversight, clarity, and correction. Since there's a pattern of Kern County and Kern elections failing to comply with citizens' request for information under the CPRA, we believe the next best step is for the Board of Supervisors to form an election commission. This commission could lead the way in recommendations to improve county election reporting, maintenance of voter rolls, engagement of public, transparency in election systems, fiscal reduction, improved registration verification, timeliness, efficiency, reliability, and voter confidence. Concerned citizens would like to join efforts with the Board of Supervisors in forming an elections commission to resolve election integrity for Kern County with the worthy goal of restoring faith and confidence in our election systems. We have 5 other presenters this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. Good morning, Chairman.
Morning.
And board members. We have great concern over the cleanup of Kern County voter roll prior to November 5th, 2024 election. Amy Espinoza has promised to complete 77,000 inactive registration confirmations by the end of July 2024. That is tomorrow. This reflects 18% of our total registered voters. According to the NVRA, the voter rolls will enter a frozen period with no removals allowed starting August 7th, 2024, 90 days prior to the November 5th election. This also means we have not met the compliance to law noted in the Judicial Watch lawsuit. Will the 77,000 inactive registrations be reconciled by August 7th? We note that we do not see inactive designations on the voter rolls and would like to know if the election office keeps an inactive voter roll separate from the active rolls. We are making a CPRA request for the inactive voter rolls for the past 5 years. We note that Supervisor Couch in January 2024 requested a 5-year report from Ms. Espinoza on inactive voter removals. Has that been produced for the board to review to date? Concerned citizens strongly urge the board to form a commission to review past results and processes to seek current election code education and overview decisions over best practices for a fiscally sound and trustworthy election department moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Morning, Ralph. Is that you, Ralph?
Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, and I have a little packet here for the board that I'd like to present you with. Thank you.
We have it.
My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, a concerned citizen and veteran. Today, I have for you a physical copy of the Judicial Watch lawsuit case number 2:24-CV3750. The National Voter Registration Act ensures its aim to increase the number of eligible citizens who register and to protect the integrity of the electoral process and to ensure the accurate and current voter registration rolls are maintained. Section 8 requires each state and county administration to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove the names of ineligible voters from the official list of eligible voters. The Secretary of State's March response to this lawsuit admits that 16 of California's 58 counties, which together contain more than a fourth of California's population, did not know how many registrations they removed under Section 8, Parent D, Parent 1, Parent B, in a 2-year period establishes both a statewide failure to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to cancel the registrations of voters who have become ineligible by reason of a change in residence, and a failure by Defendant Weber to fulfill her duties as California's Chief of State Election Official to coordinate state responsibilities under the NVRA.
My name is Glenn Clayton, C-L-A-Y-T-O-N. Good morning, Board. Chairman Couch, good morning. My colleague had talked about 16 of California's 58 counties, did not know how many registrations that they removed in their voter rolls, 22 to 24. The 16 counties are Del Norte, El Dorado, Inyo, Kern, Lassen, Marin, Mendocino, Merced, Mono, Nevada, Orange, Riverside, San Joaquin, Santa Clara, Sonoma, and Tulare. These counties represent 28% of state voters. Kern County failed to report removals and expects to now pursue the removal of roughly 77,000 most recent admission registration records of inactive voters during that 22-24 period. The county expects to report these cancellations to to the Election Assistance Commission in response to the 2024 Election Administration and Voting Survey. Now, we concerned citizens brought attention to the Board of Supervisors this issue, and Judicial's Watch noticed potential litigation with their December 2023 letter. We are deeply concerned. 6 months later, we have not seen Kern County's election office proactively correct their failure to remove inactive voter registrations. And we believe the County Board of Supervisors should form a commission to pursue understanding, ensure integrity, and provide oversight for our elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clayton. Hi, Jess.
Good morning, Board. Name's Jess Sanders, and I'm hoping you all read about the last week's breaking news in Maricopa County, where the Dominion machine was brought down by the failure of the CrowdStrike security-based program. Dominion has failed across the nation, as well as in Puerto Rico, for similar reasons. Now, our propaganda media reassured America that Dominion machines could not be influenced by the web or anything on the web, because they're never connected to it. Just to mention, my toaster didn't fail because it's not connected to the web, but Dominion did. The same agenda-driven media that pushed the narrative that Biden is as sharp as a tack, or Kamala was the best border czar we ever had. There's an update on that. She's never been a border czar. So anyway, back to Dominion. Since the board signed a 3-year contract, $750,000 with Dominion under false pretenses that it was impervious to web attacks, can you not back out of that, bringing back $750,000 due to breach of contract from Dominion? That would help our firefighters up a lot, I'm sure. And it would relieve a lot of pressure from our taxes. The public that needs to be reassured that it's not who votes out there, it's who counts the votes or what counts the votes. And there's an awful lot of evidence now, for those who've never seen any evidence, that the machine can be interfaced with the internet and influenced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Any other public statements today?
Yes. Hello, Board. Good to see you.
Hi.
I have a fun fact for you. In 1995, by order of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, the County Clerk Registrar of Voters was combined with the Auditor Controller's Office.
Ma'am, could you give us your name for the record, please?
I'm sorry, Pamela Reese.
Thank you.
R-E-E-C-E. That's just a little tidbit. I'm here to talk to you about the Elections Division Manager. The Elections Division Manager is a first-level management position performing under the oversight of the Auditor Controller, County Clerk's Office, and works at the direction of the Assistant Registrar of Voters. This work is performed in accordance with federal, state, and local laws pertaining to the California election process, and those are done by the staff assigned to and responsible for the accurate and efficient administration of all elections operations. The most important of these operations is the maintenance of the master voter files as required by law. The Elections Division Manager must have the ability to exercise initiative, apply good judgment, and communicate effectively. This includes giving a timely response to any inquiries or requests from the general public regarding elections information. Additionally, the Elections Division Manager shall collaborate with other management and staff to develop and deliver election-related educational public meetings and conduct election-related outreach activity workshops. It seems there's not an Elections Division Manager on staff with so many of the inconsistencies that are going on with our elections. I'm just wondering if we do in fact have an Elections Division Manager here in Kern County. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public presentations? Seeing none, we'll go to item 10, which is board member announcements and reports. I'm going to do it under board member announcements and reports right now.
I'll comment after that.
Okay. I'm fine. Do you have any? I know that Ms. Espinoza is here. Thank you for being here. I know you wanted to report something with regard to this subject, some of that subject anyway.
Yeah, good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board, Kern County Auditor, Controller, County Clerk, Amy Espinoza. So first, I want to mention we have been hearing about the cleanup of the voter rolls. It was 65,000, now it's 77,000. And I've spoken to you, and I will include it in my presentation next week, that on July 19th, we did remove approximately 77,100 inactive voters from our voter roll. As I've explained before, these voters were marked inactive, which means they did not get sent ballots once they were marked inactive. And so I just want to make sure that people understand that. As people are marked inactive on our rolls, it just means that they're not receiving ballots. So we're not.
Back up for a second and remind people, because I think it's important to remind them the definition of an inactive voter.
Well, it's someone who has not voted, or we have received undeliverable mail from them, and so they're marked in an inactive status. And then we have the state law dictates how we move forward with those voters. We have to try and reach them to make sure it's not an error. And then there's a time period that we have to wait. And then once that time period elapses, we have to send another notice. And then those people have 15 days to respond to us. And if they don't respond in those 15 days, then we can delete them. So these have to do with change of address. These are specific to change of address. Now, we receive regular reports from the courts and from public health on deceased voters. And so there are constantly updates being made to the voter roll on a regular basis. These are specific to change of address. Let's see.
Yeah, Amy,
Yes.
remind us, what does it take to become an inactive voter? Not they've changed their registration, but how often do they have to not vote? And how
Well,
many?
I misspoke.
elections?
So if we receive their mail back, so it's returned to us as undeliverable, that is this category of inactive voters. So if the United States Postal Service tells us that this person does not reside at this address anymore, then we stop sending out ballots to that address.
There's no time limit to wait on that.
No, not to make them inactive. That's immediate, and that's something that we process typically before we even certify, kind of in those end days as we're waiting for cure letters to come in. Staff is processing those, so that is something that's immediate.
So the 77 you're talking about are people that have not voted. And how many general elections, or what's the term that gets you to the inactive
So it's
status?
2 federal elections.
Okay.
And once they meet that threshold, then we have to still send
Then
that
you
notice
start
of
your
15
process.
days.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I wanted to also request Kathy, you're really great. Mr. Robles provided you all with a packet. I don't receive the packets until days later, typically when Kathy provides them to me as the elections official. There are a lot of things that are provided to your board and to staff that don't come to me until Kathy provides them, so I do appreciate that. I wanted to just comment, first of all, as you all are, I'm an elected official, as you know. I took an oath, as do our elected and appointed officials throughout the county, to follow federal and state laws, and we do that. In Kern County elections, we are following the law. We look for places, it doesn't mean everything is perfect. Sometimes we notice places that we can improve, and we do that on a continuous basis. But priority is to make sure that we are following the laws of the United States and of the state of California to provide the best service we can to our voters and to the community that we serve. As far as, just to comment really quickly on voting systems, regardless of the voting system that any county uses, California has, within their state laws, many checks and balances, many additional security measures that we are checking along the way as we process ballots to ensure that, that the count at the end is accurate. And that's all I have.
You mentioned that you're going to have what is your report next week going to be comprised of?
It's an update on the 2024 election cycle.
Okay. All right, thank you for your report. Questions from the board? Comments? Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Chair. Amy, thank you so much for your report. I think it's encouraging to see those removals occur. And I know you've been inundated with the amount of duties and responsibilities imposed on you, and I think you're doing, an incredible job. I support you, and I appreciate you. I had a really productive meeting with these folks here in the front row and a couple more in the Point Conference Room last week. It was really constructive. It didn't feel ideological or negative in any way. It was a very surprising, enlightening opportunity for me to come up to speed on the various ways, the many, many ways in which I think, frankly, don't have much to do with you personally, but just the sort of larger, complex narrative around, voting integrity, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's very complex and certainly not something that we can flesh out here in 2-minute intervals, just incredibly complex. So I certainly want to do my part. And I don't know what that even means or looks like because it's so complex. I think you need vastly more resources, and we need to look at the structure of this system and see how we can, improve these processes. And I was very encouraged by that meeting because I felt that there was a lot of organization, a lot of good information presented in a way that I could relate to. So I want to say thank you for that meeting. I think that was very productive, very healthy. I think we're going to make progress moving forward. I really do believe that. And I also want to explore with Supervisor Couch at some point the committee structure that we have here set up on the board. We haven't used it in a long time. I think you initially rolled that out a half a decade ago, and maybe longer. But where we can look at ways in which we can hold the state accountable for their, inadequacies or their, lack of resources or attention to things that we really need here. And I want to do that in a spirit of collaboration and support of your department. And of course, I desperately want to increase the belief in our system. I want to believe in it too, and clean up where we can. And I'm so encouraged that as of July 19th, you've made such profound progress. I want to thank you for that, Amy. But I just want to put those thoughts out there. I don't think we're going to resolve that this morning, but I wanted the public to know that we had a really excellent meeting, and I'm looking forward to more, and how I can play my part in helping the process and improving the confidence in the public in what we're doing, because I believe in all of us here, and I think we're going to make big progress. So thank you, Chairman. Those are just some initial thoughts.
Thank you, Amy. I don't have a lot of comments directed at you. I wanted to make sure that I responded to the request for an election commission. So can I ask, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we talk offline and get flesh that out a little bit more? I can tell you Supervisor Perez, I think, is on to something with the use of our standing committees if we're going to do some work like that. To go down the path of creating a commission, it can be done, don't get me wrong, but it takes a formal action of the board. That's number one. Then we'd have to determine how many people you're going to have on it, 3, 5, 7. There's questions that need to be considered before you go there. Would it be appointed by each individual district? Would you appoint, would it be all 5 of us voting on one person? And by the way, I'm sorry? Well, I'm sure there'll be volunteers. But if you have more volunteers than the number of seats, then you have to make a decision on who gets on and who doesn't. And once we appoint you to anybody, to a committee like that, there's a little thing called a Form 700 that people just love to fill out every year. So it comes with there's a lot more to it. And Supervisor Perez's suggestion to use our committee structure might accomplish the exact same thing that you want. But we can talk about that after the meeting. This is probably not the best time to do that. But thank you for coming today. And do you have any further comment? Okay.
Supervisor Perez, to your point of increasing voter confidence and really educating our voters on what the laws are, what the rules are, what we actually do. My office is open. I've met with a few of our concerned citizens. I've met with Ralph Robles. I've met with Dennis McLean when they have requested a meeting with me and I find time. I know they meet with all of you. I don't get very many requests for meetings. And also in the discussion of forming a committee, I do want to express my interest and the request that I be part of that discussion.
You would be there.
Thank you, Chairman, may I?
Yeah, sure.
I have friends at the Secretary of State and throughout Sacramento who, I would like to possibly, along with you, of course, incorporate into the conversation so that it's really a Kern County family conversation about our election system that the public has got to believe in, or we have a serious breakdown of the way in which government needs to function on a day-to-day basic level. And so, I'm behind you, Amy. I'm with you. I'm really intrigued by these concerned citizens. The work they have done is profound. It's really extensive. And I found it to be non-ideological in nature. I was surprised by that. And I just, it became clear to me that we need to be talking to each other more, and I think you need many more resources. And that's a complicated conversation, but I think we can flesh that out, and we can improve this, and we can make it better. And I want to thank them for their work. And they were incredibly gracious. They were gentlemen, and of course, the lady, her name is slipping my mind right now, was just brilliant, incredible communicator. She was fabulous. I really enjoyed the conversation. I learned a lot, and I just think we can just do so much better. And I'm looking forward to that conversation. The chair and I will, I think, flesh some of that out, how we can do that moving forward. But it really is a spirit of collaboration and in leveraging all our friends around the state and learning at best practices. I know some counties were withdrawn from a lawsuit by making some substantive steps. I think that's just so cool. I want to move in that direction, if you will, and I want to be a resource to you, Amy, in a real way. So I thank you.
By the way, last but not least, I want to make sure that you understand that any type of committee, commission, what have you, would have to include you at the table, number one. Number two, I want everybody to realize, at least this is the way I understand it, that committee, commission, whatever it's called, would only really be doing some, maybe some in-depth look at different issues pertaining to elections, and making our best recommendations. Ultimately, it's your department that you're running. And I know that, we know that, I think they know that, but I think it's worth saying. So thank you for being here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other board member announcements or reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to item 21, which is a fiscal year 24-25 recommended budget discussion.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Last night, I provided your board and the public with an update to the preliminary budget for the general fund and the fire funds, including the closing fund balance, also known as carry forward from June 30th, and the final property tax revenue estimates based on the assessor's final assessment roll. The public also had an opportunity to provide additional comments to your board. This morning, I will be providing your board with a summarized version of last night's presentation, and after today's presentation, we will rebalance the budget and make adjustments to the preliminary budget based on critical needs and your board's priorities and direction. This morning, I am going to begin with year-end fund balances. So the Kern County Assessor has finalized the tax roll with a total valuation of $126 billion. This is an increase of 1.8% compared to the 6.8% increase from the prior year and the 13.1% increase in fiscal year 22-23. Despite high housing costs and interest rates, the residential and commercial values saw an increase of 5.7% compared to an 8% increase the prior year. Oil and gas values declined 21% compared to an increase of 1.7% the prior fiscal year. So after the additional 21% decline in the assessed value of oil and gas properties, this fiscal year, the overall decline is 59% since 2014 for oil and gas values. This fiscal year, oil and gas represent only 10% of our total values in the county. Now, all these changes that I'm discussing this morning represent the overall increase of 1.8% in the total value. So when I compare this 1.8 to my original estimate in January, there's only a difference of 0.7%. So in total, the changes in property taxes have resulted in an overall increase of $8.8 million. Once we add the additional estimated increase in federal payments in lieu of property taxes, the overall increase to discretionary revenue is $9.4 million from the preliminary budget. I want to clarify the concept of discretionary revenue. This source is not unlimited. Since fiscal year 14-15, actual collections, not budgeted, actual collections total $402 million. So that was the collection. In fiscal year 2014-15, we collected $402 million in discretionary revenue. After 2014, the county experienced a significant decline in oil and gas values, so resulted in declines in our discretionary revenue. And actual revenue collections since 2014 did not surpass the $400 million until fiscal year 22. So again, we collected 402 on 14-15. From there on, our collections were below 400 million. It wasn't until 2022 that we actually exceeded that number with 405 million in collections. So we have seen a decrease in our discretionary revenue, and our retirement costs has increased. Our healthcare costs for workers have increased. So, and unlike the federal government that can borrow for budget purposes, or the state boom and bust budget cycles, your board must manage resources to ensure that we are meeting the mandates, providing for the community we serve, and still have a balanced, sustainable budget. So when we bring recommendations to your board to allocate additional discretionary sources and carry forward, we look not just at the current budget, but we must plan for future budgets. With that in mind, the carry forward this year is $33 million. One, combined with the additional discretionary revenue that I just mentioned, our total available for additional allocations is $42.5 million. So last night, I went over each one of those items with your board. The main takeaway of this list is that we are allocating the $9.4 million in discretionary revenue to ongoing costs, mainly to provide for our workforce. We are covering the COLA increase that we provided to our employees in July. We are adding additional staffing in information technology. We are providing for the negotiated salary increases for our probation officers. We are adding additional resources to the sheriff's office to maintain our deputy detention officers that we have hired. And the last one is for our in-home supported services. While that item is not for our direct employees, they do provide a very important service to our community, to the population that really need those services. On the one-time adjustments, even though we like to keep ongoing resources with ongoing costs, the main item in this list is the set aside of $11.2 million for salary and equity adjustments. Your board heard for multiple employees last night of our largest union, SEIU, asking your board to consider raises. We have made a proposal to them. We are ensuring that we have the available resources to fund that proposal. In addition, we want to ensure quality of services for our community. We are providing resources to animal services for spay and neuter. We are starting a septic system educational programs. Our TAF substation, we don't have one. So our deputies are driving long distances to serve those communities. So we need to invest on a TAF substation so that community has some resources and public safety available in that community. I talked to you about multiple times about our animal control facility and how inadequate it is. And not only for the animals, for our employees. I attended, we took one morning from work, we took our staff in the CAO's office, collected our money, gave donations, went to work for that facility for just a few hours just to take a look at what employees go through. We need to build that facility, not only for the animals, but also for our employees. We're also setting aside money for maintenance projects, not only discretionary for your board, $1.5 million, but for major maintenance projects. One correction I want to make from last night, I must have been tired when I said that we had allocated $2 million for
Fuller Acres from ARPA and additional Measure K. It was for 4 city TAF. I want to make sure it's clear. We have allocated approximately $2.3 million for 4 city TAF park. We have also allocated resources for Fuller Acres. We allocated funds from the American Rescue Plan to do the park, but also we're allocating Measure K resources to include shade structures in that park. So it's for both parks, but last night I mentioned Fuller Acres by mistake. Our public safety officers, we're hiring public sheriff deputies. They need vehicles to patrol our very big county. You heard our fire chief, deputy chief, I'm gonna make sure I get his title correct, how the sheriff not only provides public safety, but when there's a fire, they're the ones right after fire department, making sure that people are out of the fire zone. And then finally, homelessness. Very important issue in our community. We are only dedicating $1 million to ensure that our family shelter is able to build a new facilities that we can have available for our county residents that are experiencing homelessness. And again, I mentioned that we have to look at not just 1 year, we have to look for the future, so we are setting aside $3 million for infrastructure replacement. We're looking at using that for more economic development areas. Where can we invest those resources that will increase our property tax, that will bring additional revenue to the county? So I talk about research and designation. This is how we plan for the future. We have to set aside funds to ensure that we have the available resources in case something happens. The state came this year with cuts in the May revise that would have wiped over $40 million from our county departments. We have programs in our public health department that would have eliminated, I believe, 26 positions. So those are programs that we want to maintain in our county once the state is not available. So we have to make sure that we have the resources to continue providing services until we find a different funding source. I talked to you about the fire fund last night. Just like the general fund, the fire fund is also receives property tax, and they're seeing an increase of $2.8 million from the preliminary budget, and they also have a carry forward of $4.9 million. They have a backlog of equipment. We anticipate that they'll use a portion of that for capital replacement, but they might also need it for additional salaries and benefits. You heard the number of our sheriff staff that are available for the fire. We're seeking reimbursement. I appreciate your board doing the proclamation that gave us the opportunity to seek additional funding to cover the costs. So after incorporating these changes in any board direction I get, we will finalize the fiscal year 24-25 budget for budget hearings, and I'll be happy at this point to answer any questions or receive any direction your board may have.
So I'll open it up for the public. Is there anyone that would like to comment on this presentation?
Hello, Sandra Melgosa Plasencia, Kern Policy Advocate with Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability. We provided written statements yesterday, so I won't go through the whole thing, and we also provided comment yesterday, but just wanted to reiterate the need to ensure that the county is properly investing in communities like Fuller Acres, Lamont, Greenfield, and folks that live on Shirley and Fairfax. We are super appreciative of all the investments that have been made thus far, like the park, as well as the septic educational program, but we reiterate the need to ensure that these communities also have safe streets and children have safe routes to school as well. And the last thing I wanted to mention is while we are grateful to see investments in the Open Door Network for Homelessness Prevention, we reiterate the need for homelessness prevention, right? We sent in a list of programs through our housing element comments that will focus on eviction preventions and ensuring that folks don't end up homeless. A lot of jurisdictions throughout the state focus on just helping folks after they've been on the streets, but don't do anything to help tenants in vulnerable positions. So we reiterate the need to invest in keeping folks in their house. It is cheaper to keep folks housed than it is to help them after they've been in the streets, and it's also more humane to keep them housed and have them endure homelessness, as it is very traumatic. And then I was also going to ask if I could please translate from some of the folks from Vencidos Unidos Jamás Serán Vencidos. These folks are from District 5, and they are from Shirley Lane in Fairfax.
Okay, welcome.
Hola, buenos días.
Hi, good morning.
Soy Basilio Mora. Nomás vengo a decirles a tocante del drenaje donde yo vivo. Yo tengo 30 años viviendo en la Story Lane y Mariol, aquí en Bakersfield. Y nomás que sea que, y en esos 30 años, no, nada más yo lo que tengo que ha visto que han compuesto la calle nada más una vez. Entonces, nos tienen como en el olvido, como que están muy feas las calles. Y entonces,
Señor, espérate un momento.
Su no-
Voy a
su-
traducir por usted. Es que no hablan español.
Sí.
Okay, so hi, my name is Basilio Mora, and I have lived in the community. ¿En cuál calle vive usted?
en la Story y Mariol.
Story and Mariol.
6721, Story Lane.
7721 Story Lane. And I have lived in that community for 30 years. My community is forgotten. We do not have drainage. We only have septic tanks. Yes. ¿No quiere agregar algo más?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Era lo mismo que
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Victorio Ramírez,
My name is Victorio Ramirez.
y es lo mismo que dice mi compañero, que yo tengo 40 años y no se le ve nada ahí. Las calles están destrozadas.
I have lived in this community for 40 years and we have never seen any investments. The streets are completely broken with potholes.
Y pues no hay ayuda ahí, pues, y en cuestión del drenaje igual, el drenaje ahí están las escuelas y ahí está el drenaje y no se habla nada de que.
And it's the same for the community. We've seen no investments. There are schools, but there is no actual drainage. We just have septic tanks.
Que viene haciendo ahí por la Shirley Lane, 4815, enfrente de la escuela.
4815 Shirley Lane, that's where I live.
Era todo, pues, yo lo que quiero, pues no es trabajo, el drenaje está cerca, pero pues no.
I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for a connection with my wastewater services.
Las fosas, muchas fosas destrozadas en las casas y pues
A lot of the septic tanks in our community are failing.
se taponean y valiendo.
They get plugged and we don't know what to do.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Who's next? Morning.
Hello. Good morning, Chairman and board members. My name's Armando Macias Sanchez. I'm a resident in city of Delano here in Kern County. I live on San Jose Avenue. First of all, I want to thank you guys for helping us with Edison, providing Edison with all the documents they needed. We have light now on our street. All the houses in that neighborhood are connected to the power. We're not living under solar panels now alone. So I want to give thanks for that. And
That's good news. Good.
yeah, I appreciate that. We did know that you guys had brought up to our attention that you guys were going to help us pave the street during the rain season. I'm like the tow truck there in that community. I own a lifted truck, so I'm the one pulling all the vehicles that get stuck. I'm pulling honestly around 3 vehicles a day. If I'm around, I'll do it right away. If I'm not around, the people are waiting on me to show up. Right now during the summertime, that road gets so dusty with traffic driving through there. I know they brought up valley fever. I am, I want to say, a survivor of valley fever. I was sick for about 1.5 years with that. I do have black spots in my lungs due to valley fever. It's under control now, but I just want to say that valley fever is true. And I would hate to see my family go through that, what I went through. They see me go through it. I have little kids. And I know that paved road would help us a lot. And I also wanted to mention to you guys, before that road gets paved, if there's, I know there's going to be some infrastructure close by to our community, that they're going to be running a sewer lines to the area. If you guys could also help us with that, maybe run a couple, one extra street of sewer, that we have drainage in our street. And I know we've been talking about this paved street for over 2 years already. I haven't seen any funding yet on that project. I just wanted to bring it up to you guys and remind you guys that we're still hoping.
Do you know a guy named Jose Collado?
Yes, he lives on Lido Avenue.
Okay. How often do you see him?
I see him almost every weekend.
Okay. Well, this weekend, I want you to ask him, when we started the project on Lytle, I want you to ask him what I told him, because the exact same thing I told you. You're not going to believe how long this is going to take. That's what I told him. Because you have to obtain the funding, and that means it gets programmed. That's a fancy way of saying we're going to spend it in some year, not this year. And I've forgotten actually where that stands, but that's through a whole nother government entity called Kern Council of Governments that right now I and Supervisor Flores sit on. So I think we're going through the exact same process with San Jose Avenue that we went through with Lytle Avenue. I just don't know exactly where we are in that whole process. So it's a little bit like going broke. It's very, very slow until all of a sudden you're broke. It happens very quickly. So this will look like nothing is happening for a long time, and then everything will sort of happen at once, because there's the funding that gets programmed, there's all that waiting, and then there's design, bidding, and ultimately there's construction. But that's the shortest part of this process. Everything else takes far longer than that. That's not necessarily what you wanted to hear, but that's reality.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you and all the hard work you guys are doing. I know it's not easy. There's a lot of projects that we bring up to your attention. Just don't forget about us. We're still there.
Oh, no, we haven't forgotten.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Diana Mireles. I'm a community organizer with Center Race Poverty and Environment, and also president of the Comité Progreso de la MAN. First, I want to say thank you for all the improvements in the communities that we work. I know we ask for a lot. We have our wish list, which I already give it to you, and I think yesterday my coworker Gustavo, he gave you a list too. I know it's a big list. I know it's a lot of projects. We understand maybe not all the projects coming from the budget, but like every year, we always ask if you can find grants from different sites. In my organization and the communities that we work, we are more than open to give you little support for all the grants, because I know that helps a lot, and our communities needs a lot, and they are looking for the safety for the kids, especially on the sidewalks when they walk to the schools. The elder peoples, it's a lot of people, elder people walk, driving the scooters, electric chairs, and they have to walk through the streets that is not safe for them. So, and we are looking all these projects, thinking of our children. Thank you again for all that you do. Like the resident right now in San Jose, they are very happy when they have the light. They call my coworker Gustavo, some residents crying, the happiness that they have. And we are so happy to be like helpful to this happens. And it's because of this, we always came and asking for your helps, and you're always available to give us the help. And this is the proof right now, they have a light. On December the 16th, they have the light. So, and thank you, and we'll continue working with you and give you the our list and making some meetings. I know our list is not finished, but making our more projects on the list, and hopefully we can have meetings in the future with CEO and Supervisor Kaush. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Mr. Sanchez, would you leave your contact info with the lady right here, Elsa Martinez? Thank you. Anybody else have a comment on this agenda item, item 21? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board for questions or comments, or just a motion to receive and file.
Make a motion to receive and file. Since we did a lot of this work last night, I just want to commend staff and all our department heads for the budget work this last year. And despite the decreased valuations, that we're still in a minor little uptick based on commercial and residential. But times will be tough, and so we need to just keep moving methodically and guardedly and continue the good work you do. And also, I remember in years past that these budget hearings were bloodbaths, where we would wait until 11 o'clock at night, fighting over $20, $50, $100, pitting interest against interest, department against department, the public against the public. That has all dramatically changed, and it's a testament to the CAO's office and to the county that we have a streamlined budget and smart people doing the work, so thank you.
So there's a motion,
Second?
and there's a second. Please cast your votes. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Scrivener.
Okay, that takes us to the end of the morning agenda. I just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Motion adjourned.
Without objection, we're adjourned.